Hello and welcome to another Astroneer. I'm doing it again. Welcome to another episode of Astroneer. Not Astroneer of an episode, because Astroneer of an episode doesn't make sense. Anyway, I managed to record this video without somehow not the sound, because I've somehow disabled this, and not the microphone because I also disabled that, which is weird because you gotta go to settings and then change buttons. I'm pretty sure I didn't do that. But anyway, I'm sorry for this voiceover. Sorry for ruining your day. Anyway, what I wanted to do this episode is, I just gotta get back. I wanted to get the car and then get that mining rig thing, you know, that we had, I think 1 or 2 episodes ago or something. That mining thing that we placed on the car that we couldn't get off of it anymore. And I wanted to connect that to the big car chain. Now, thinking about it in a later time, it's maybe not the best way to have 4 cars linked together and then drive around with it, because that probably sucks up a lot of energy. But what I did luckily is connect it to the base before I go, so it was fully charged up before I left the base. So you can see me. You can see me here preparing to leave the base. And I almost bet that in past episodes, I'm just checking how much things there are on and that kind of stuff, that in past episode when you get in a car and you try to drive away, that I almost bet it was possible to just do that and disconnect the cable. But apparently in this episode, maybe it had an update, because I did run some updates. It wasn't possible for me to drive away and then disconnect the cable. I needed to disconnect the cable manually, which was not too hard to do, but yeah, it's fine. So then I decided I wanted to show you that the game was a little bit bugged, and in the right upper corner you can see that thing flying, you know, the mountain that I removed. Every time I start the game and I drive, I look at that mountain, I see half of the mountain being there, and I wanted to show you, just surprise you a little bit and then give you a glance. But that fixes itself after an X amount of time looking at it, and then the game realized, like, wait, that mountain used to be there? Well, it isn't there, so I probably shouldn't render it anyway, so I'm gonna remove the render. And then it removed it, and I couldn't show you that in the game. But basically, a different length, if you're close to an object, it renders the full boundary of that object. If you're really far away of the object, it just loads in a square kilometer, for example, a square mile if you use weird metrics, not metric systems. It just uses an average of a square kilometer. And you can see that sometimes in mountains and such, you can see that it's just really rough, and when you get closer, it gets more detailed. And the really rough pattern of the mountain, that's basically consists of 2 chunks, so the mountain is 2 chunks big. That pattern basically is wrong, and it doesn't seem that it won an update, and it doesn't realize that the small ones, I think the game just checks if the small ones exist and then generates a new one. But if the small ones doesn't exist, then they are not rendered yet, so we should show you the big thing what a world's render normally would do, and so you're missing that part. If you basically get what I wanted to say here, it's a bit hard to explain you how rendering in games sort of works. It's the same thing is done with color in games. We one photographer for digital cameras decided that you can linear map light to dark areas and just have increasements. But what he decided, well, we don't really see a lot of difference in either it was the dark or the light side. It doesn't really matter for the story. You can turn it around. I don't know. If you want to read this more, go to Wikipedia or something. But basically, we cannot see much changes in dark things. So basically, we can see the changes of 100, 1,000, a million luminescence to a million. We can see that, but we cannot see the difference between 1 luminescence and 1,000 luminescence. So what he decided to do is use a square in there in the formula. So if you have a color on a scale to 0 to 255, that's basically not a linear way, but goes up. So there's more details in light things, and so you can compress the data better, and you can do more with less data, because you can show people more colors of white without adding more data. And this is the same for games. You can show people more pieces of the world without adding or being more heavier, by basically not rendering it to the full extent of the stuff that you're not close to. Although we can talk about that a little bit, but Astroneer I think Astroneer doesn't render it as much. So doesn't render things close to you. You can still see things popping in, and I don't like that stuff of games. But anyway, you can see me right here, back to the cave, because I'm wandering off again, like I always do in an episode. I was mining this, and that goes at a pretty decent speed, I want to say. The range is good, not great, not bad, but the range is good. Also, those things fill up quite okay, not really fast. It is really a problem that you can only put 2 pots in there, because normally when I'm mining I use 10 pots. I mean those canisters, I'm sorry, not pots. So I decided to just drive around and go into this trench and then continue driving, because I thought I see an exit, and I'm like, can we just go over this stuff? And apparently we could, only I got stuck. So yeah, then we need to go somewhere, so I made a little bit of ramp so we would be able to get out of here. And I decided just to dig the plants out and then just fill the gap in, so basically you can still drive around with the car. It's also that in this point that I realized, slowly started to realize that the power, all 4 cars don't have power. One of the batteries started to use power, and I realized that there is no exit in this terminal. So either I go back, which I'm just against. I don't want to go back to the way I came in, you know. Like my grandma always told this weird grandma stories, you know. My grandma always told me, I don't want to go the same way that I came. I can completely agree with that somehow. It's just a life lesson. It's better to just see different stuff and explore a little bit often. What do you want? Do you rather watch me go to place A and I go back the same way, or would you rather see me go to place A, then go around and maybe discover a place B? It's way better. So in this point in the video, we're wandering off again, so I probably should just continue talking about what you see in the game instead of just wandering around. I realized that, well, I see that there is not much power, so I decided to line the car up so we can go through the thing I made. No, this is not a thing. No, to the wrench. No, wrench is something else. I don't know. To this slope I made. I drive it up, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, oh no, and I'm stuck. I decided to do something really stupid and not check where the exit goes to. Just like, probably we'll go to the fine place, and it's all smooth right there. Also, in this point, do you realize how strong that connection between those 2 cars is to keep up? To just imagine you have a car and just put a different car on the back of it, and you are able, that connection between those, you are able to just pull up the whole car by that connection. Wow. So I decided to go around and go to those kill planty things, and they have power, so I decided just to put 2 power on the system, only I filled a little bit and couldn't really get that power up and running. And I found out that, well, yeah, it charged up quite a lot of the system. I was almost like, oh, this maybe it's even 90%, but I realized that the battery isn't fully charged, so that's probably why that is. I decided to continue driving, and I'm like, yeah, well, I should just go back home and drive out of this mess. And I found this mountain in the way, so the mountain needed, no, not really a mountain. I'm a Dutch man, so this looks like a mountain to me, but mountains are those big things, not those small things, you know. We do have in my country we have things that call it mountains. They're not mountains at all. They're just a tiny hill of a few meters. For people that use feet, I don't know how many feet that is. It's like it's 3 or 4 feet per meter or something. I found this wonderful structure. I'm like, what is this for structure? And I just got that down. I'm like, I don't care about keeping the landscape and having some art in the landscape. I want to be practical, you know. I like to be more. Just look at my Factorio series. I like to be more practical and do more stuff that's useful, sort of useful, and then have nice things to look at. And this game is, although it has both sides, as you can see right here, there's nothing below it. So on one side I miss that, on the other side, well, there is some cool stuff about the game, and the game looks gorgeous. And well, it runs on a scale to 0 to 10, where 0 would be, where 10 would be completely optimized. In a game that I would say Factorio would be a 10. I also found this green one where there was research, by the way. So 10 would be Factorio. Oh, Factorio is not completely optimized. No, I don't say that. I say 10 would be Factorio. So the scale could go higher, the scale could go lower. 0 would be a game like, I think, Kingdoms and Castles. Let's say that. Then Astroneer would be, where would Astroneer be? I think, let's first put in Subnautica. Subnautica would reach a 4, 5, I guess, in that scale. I think this game would run a little bit better, so a 5 or 6. This place we already have been to, so this is not a skill about 100% optimized, because there's no 100% optimized. Code can run on way different things and can be optimized for way different things. Like, you can optimize code for core speed, you can optimize code for RAM speed, you can optimize code for storage, you can optimize code for amount of CPU cores, and you gotta pick one of them. If you pick a different one, people get mad. If you pick, it doesn't matter what you pick, because I always get mad. Like a game like Fallout 4, really well optimized would be, I think, even Factorio, like 9, 10 or 11 on that scale. I think even 11, 10. I would say 10. It's the same as Factorio. A Fallout 4. Where was I going with this story? Completely forgot. Something with optimization, but I'm not too sure. I don't know. I decided to go into this cave. I'm sorry for cutting up that story because I just got plain up. What was I talking about? I decided to go into this cave where we already been, to go a little bit deeper, to see if we can get an end, to see if we can block off a tunnel, a tunnel, a cave. So we have one less cave to worry about. And I said, oh, there's some, please let there be some research below that. And it's too late, but walking back, if something attacks me, I'm like, oh my god, my whole inventory is full. You can only have like 13 items, 14 items at most in your inventory, which like 5 are already taken up by light and air and power and canisters and upgrades and that kind of stuff. I think Factorio is quite different. I would love to see more inventory space, and I know that this is sort of realistic. Factorio, it's completely unrealistic, the amount of storage space. So I find another research module that I want to research, so I pick it up and I want to bring it back. And there we did find another one somewhere, right? More greenish one. I don't know anymore which it was. There was with this purple plant. That was a research. Oh no, it was not green. Oh yeah, it was green. It was dark green. So I decided to take that back. I was wondering, like, should I fill up my oxygen tanks or should I not? Then I think I found another tiny bug in the code where I don't know if it's really a bug or if it's not, but as you can see, my oxygen just disappeared. It was really fast using up, and I'm not sure if that's intended because it doesn't seem to have charged anything. It just seems that it just used up. So I wonder, would that be a bug or would it be a normal thing? I decided to put the research things on the one side. I decided to put all the other stuff that I have in my inventory just on the other vehicle. They have a name. It's not vehicle. I didn't need the tethers because this is not a cave that I explore with tethers. It's just running around randomly, you know. So I went back to it. I went back down. I just grabbed some oxygen and power on my way down. And while I'm grabbing some power, I realized, not in this corner, but in the next corner, I realized, like, why am I getting power again? Because power is only filling up my inventory. I'm not gonna use that amount of power. I should just grab the stuff and also a little bit of this, although we don't need it. Let's grab a little bit of it. I should just run down and see if we can get completely down and just block this cave off. If this cave is connected to a way bigger cave network. I looked for more research on the purple things. The purple things, I don't think there is anything. I know that thing that we just walked by was a geyser or steam thing. I think it's called geyser. And I was down, I'm like, huh, that seems, oh, there's things, oh, that's just stone and such. So we did check the cave. There's nothing in the cave. So I decided to go back up again, get some oxygen, because I probably need some oxygen, but it didn't give me oxygen because it was not enough oxygen to make oxygen. Like, you can pick up 99% of oxygen and it just doesn't give you oxygen, you know what I mean? You need to fill that thing up at the back of your cannon, and that's written in an array and such, so it does store, if you get something else, it does store what you already picked up for half of the time. And it just keeps on filling that up. So I decided here that I just want to fill up my complete inventory, then go back to the base, get back to the car and drive the car back to the base as we were already doing before. So I filled up my inventory, get the research module and started running for the base. I also noticed that my oxygen tank of my normal suit is now draining a little bit, but I don't really mind. I just blocked this tunnel off, this cave off, so I know for the next time that if I come here that this cave has been done and is done, then I got the 50% oxygen warning. I started just running for it, picking it up. I was really pretty efficient because I did it a few times and I was really going well, unless I just missed one and then you need to turn around and you just lose a few more seconds and then it gets really tight. Like, are we gonna make it? It's like 10%, are we gonna make it? Oh yeah, we did. I'm sorry, just so we did make it. I decided to just put the power on the things and like, why do I put the power on? Just not put all power on, because we can use the power. We can power up this car with the base power, and then if we need emergency power, we can just put it in my inventory, still on there. There wouldn't be a difference. But if we go back to the base and we still have power in the system, we do have the item power. So it's sort of having a buffer that doesn't drain. You may. I want to reserve the power for sometime else. So I decided to write down the base. I didn't want to. We last time we did do that solar panel array, I think, or it was 2 episodes ago. It's like a week ago. Just give me some time. I forgot why we did it, and I didn't want to drive it over. 4 cars for me, it's too much to drive backwards. I can drive 1 car backwards, Most of the time I'm just like, screw it, I don't want to do it. But then I realized, like, apparently you cannot drive over the things and they don't move, so yeah, it doesn't really matter, they still work, so that's fine and that's good. So I just decided, like, yeah, who cares anyway. So I hooked up the power, and next time, I brought research inside. I just put them in some random place. I hooked up the power to the car so the car can charge. So now the buffers are getting charged by wind and solar instead of the item power that we used to have. I put some stuff in my inventory to sort them out, and then they flew around. I guess my inventory is full, which is not really normal because they should obey the law of physics instead of just flying around, I guess. That doesn't really make much sense. And I'm like, yeah, what I also probably should do is just make some more of those 2 spots to 8 spots things, so we can place more things down. And I have 1 power. I wonder what I did have more power things, but I think that 1 power thing that I have right in the downside that I just showed, this one is just a power that's on a scale to 1 to 100. It's 1. So basically there's just a tiny amount of power left. So here I decided to make a little bit more medium storage things, and I wanted to print it, and I tried to print it, but I didn't print it, and I'm like, we probably should make some more storage things, and I hooked that up, so it started to print that out too. Then I realized, well, here it is. Here is the thing that I was looking for. This is the medium storage model that I was looking for. So I started to sort things out and that kind of stuff. But for now, this is 20 minutes, so have a nice day and goodbye.